What was your question, Avi? Tell me.
So, sir, what does it mean that when you get to samadhi, you will be able to work on your body completely?
See,
What does
when
it
you,
mean?
yeah, so that means when we are in samadhi, that is transcendence, then our brain frequency, the scientist, Harvard Medical School, I have to refer to Harvard Medical School, because that gives you, the world, oh, if Harvard Medical School, United States of America is discussing this, that way it must be true. We knew this in India for millions of years,
Yes.
but that was kept a secret. So our changes come in our body through our environment when we are able to alter our brain frequency. That means if I'm in beta frequency, when I'm talking to you, when normal people talk, when a yogi talks, karma yogi, he can still alter his brain frequency when he is talking. So when we are talking, like husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend are talking, normally celebrating birthday, suddenly they tend to fight, because in beta brain wave, which is between 14 to 20 cycles per second, that means your brain, like your heart has got a frequency, so has your brain. The heart is measured by ECG machine, the brain is measured by EEG machine. I have done this experiment many times personally, and I found that whenever I imagine that my energy is coming from a root chakra through all my chakras, and I go on top, I imagine that my energy has come on top of my head, my crown chakra, I would minimum go into a brain frequency which is called theta state, that is between 4 to 7 cycles per second. Now, I'll repeat. When we are normally talking to our family, we are in beta state. Our brain is in beta state, that is 14 to 28 cycles per second. And when we are in beta state, we will release a chemical called cortisol, which is a stress hormone through which we fight. Now, you will ask me, why do we release cortisol? I will tell you, my brothers and sisters, my friends, please understand, you, me, all the masters, everybody who came on the earth were a mass of protein scientifically. Understand it, protein. Muscles are protein, bones, everything is protein. So when we are protein, let's imagine we are dead meat. We have life when the protein gets entangled with a hormone or a chemical. So that means if somebody shouts at me, a chemical called cortisol will be, adrenaline will be released, then it will be formulated into cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Are you with me? So
Yes, sir.
it is scientifically proved that when we are talking normally, normal husband, wife, brother, father, mother, daughter, sister, everybody talks, teacher in the class talks in your school, college. You understand the teacher, a good teacher talks to you and suddenly gets angry with you because that teacher is such a divine person, but is so stupid because he's fighting. Many of the scholars, first benchers always like the teacher like, but all the 90% students hate their teachers in school, college. Do you know why? It is only because the teacher is a normal man or a woman and talks. But whenever he or she talks, he or she comes into a beta state. And in beta state, we release cortisol and he gets stressed, you get stressed. Simple. Now, it is scientifically proved that when you alter your brain frequency to a lower brain frequency, for example, below delta comes alpha, that means between 7 to 14 cycles per second. So when you do normal meditation, when you pray in your temples, in your mosque, in your church, you feel good because you are in alpha state, 7 to 14 cycles, and many research have been done about this. You lower your brain frequency and you release endorphins, which are happy hormones, serotonin, happy hormone. Whenever you go to church or you pray, you feel good. During the Ramadan, you feel good because you are in alpha state and you release happy hormones. Fantastic. Researchers, scientists, yogis have found that this alpha state helps us, but if we lower our frequency further, it will be more beneficial. So there were other techniques found, pranic healing, Reiki, and many more techniques where you could lower your brain frequency further. And you could take them to theta state. That means between 4 cycles to 7 cycles per second. That means your brain is now and the healings were more profound, but complete healings did not happen. They were more profound. Okay. more healing hormones were released like serotonin, dopamine. But still, you could not master your body. Still, there were karmic issues where you could not master. So there were yogis who came, who practiced by hook or crook, or there were some trained teachers who trained them. And you could lower your brain frequencies further to delta state, which is 0.5 to 4 cycles per second. And they were much more oxytocin, a bliss hormone is released. Now, what is oxytocin? Oxytocin is a hormone which is released when a child is about to be born in a mother. So that is why the bond between a mother and a child is permanent, although the child may turn out to be not that good. A husband and wife may divorce, but the child they love. And when you have a bliss hormone, if you have a chemical reaction between your husband and wife, where you release oxytocin, there will be never a divorce. Now understand this when I'm telling you once again, we are all proteins, all of us are proteins, and we only react when a chemical is reacting with a protein. And when you are in talking normally, you release cortisol, you are in stress, you always fight. When you meditate, you feel good, but it is temporary. You meditate more, you come in theta state, but it is still temporary. When you come to delta state, there is a great achievement involved, but still it is not temporary. Now I researched and found that what to do. Necessity is the mother of revelation. Nothing is invented, everything is revealed, everything is in this universe, everything is revealed, nothing is invented. All the formula to make a bulb or a mobile phone or an aeroplane was revealed. So where are we? We are now at that we lower the brain frequency further. Now that is called samadhi. Samadhi, transcendence state. That means when you are not breathing from your nose or mouth, it is an automatic process. The technique is powerful. Now there are 112 techniques. I repeat, there are 112 techniques in this original techniques who were invented or revealed by Adi Yogi Shiva. It is so called the first prophet on this earth. Many thousands of years. He taught this technique to many people, but nobody could understand. There were 7 people who understood and mastered this. They were called Sapt Rishis. Rishis are highest yogis who have been on this earth. So there were 7 rishis who could master. But I don't know why they kept it a secret. They only taught to their students who would wash their dishes, who would do a lot of penance, and clean their body, and there were hardly any left. That is why it is a secret. So it was revealed to us and we thought of teaching it to the masses. Now what happens in this samadhi meditation is that I was telling you there are 112 techniques. Okay, now these are of Adi Yogi, Shiva. Actually his name, there was no name. And people started calling him Adi Yogi. That means the first yogi. Some people call him Shiva. So his actual name was not Shiva. I repeat to all the Hindus, including all the teachers without hair like me and with beard like me and long hair like me, his name was not Shiva. Please understand, don't fool any Indian or anybody in the world. His name was not Shiva. That is why the Muslims do not accept this knowledge. That is why the Christians do not accept this knowledge. They think, oh, Shiva was a Hindu god. So all those stupid teachers who tell his name was not there. He didn't have a name. Nobody knew where he came from. No, if you don't know the truth, don't spread rumor. Nobody knew where he came from. So it was revealed that his knowledge was immense, and it was revealed to some yogis who practiced with him that he had a yin and yang energy. That means the mother energy and the father energy, the male and the female energy, and that yogi was complete in him or herself, whatever you want to say. Don't go by the internet and your scriptures and all. Those scriptures have not brought anything. They have brought wars. In India, Mahabharata, the biggest of the war that happened. All the wars since this earth was formed are peanuts before Mahabharata. Okay, so we did not learn from anything. Now understand the truth. It is not a knowledge which I have read from the books. It is a knowledge which have been revealed to me. This yogi was teaching about some yogic processes, some concepts and techniques. And he taught about 112 techniques. And since people did not know the concept of God, because the name God, God or Bhagwan or Ishwar has been revealed by humans to us. They might be revealed by angels to us, for example. So these are all divine words, holy words, but they were revealed by humans to us. And to humans, they were revealed by angels. Understand this. Divine angels, the messengers of God. So this yogi taught us about Shiva consciousness. Now Shiva consciousness, Christ consciousness, Allah consciousness, same. Because Christ consciousness is not Jesus Christ. The holy man, the holy master name was Jesus of Nazareth. Nazareth was the place where he belonged to. And he was teaching about Christ consciousness. So people started calling him Jesus Christ. Similarly, this yogi was teaching about Shiva consciousness, and people started calling him Shiva. Like Jesus Christ is Jesus of Nazareth, not Jesus Christ. Similarly, Adi Yogi, the first yogi, is not Shiva, is talking about Shiva consciousness, but it's okay. We can call him Shiva. So Shiva consciousness, Shiva is different, two different things. Similarly, Jesus Christ and Christ consciousness is two different things. That is why Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because there was so much misunderstanding all of the world about the God concept. He started explaining you that the ultimate divinity is nothing which is born or which dies, which can be killed. Or so he started explaining about the Allah consciousness, that humans, some parties who misuse this information to scare the people because of a lot of famines happening, people dying of diseases, and they took advantage of the innocent people who were illiterate. So that is why he said that. Please understand about Allah consciousness that people do not. That is why he said that even he is not God, because although he is giving you the information, he told to the world where he taught. You should understand this, that even he is not God. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now, those 112 techniques, Buddha, he meditated for years and years and years, and he came to this conclusion that whatever he had practiced was wonderful, but was useless because it did not get him past one of his past incarnations where he was a revealed person, but not that revealed. So he had many teachers. He started roaming around, and he made the Shiva Adi Yogi his teacher, and he learned one of the 112 techniques of enlightenment. That is the junction. That means, for example, if I'm breathing, see how I'm breathing. I'm breathing. Now I'm going to breathe out. Now, before taking another breath, there is a junction. So he used the Shiva technique and he practiced. I'm going to teach you one of those days. And he practiced, mastered his technique, and went into the alter state of Samadhi and took enlightenment with a lot of practice. So there is no Buddha technique. Understand this, Buddhist technique. So even Gautam Siddhartha, whose original name, practiced Shiva technique. Understand this, one of the 112 techniques, and attained enlightenment.
Yes, sir.
All the techniques of this world are either a complete one technique of the 112 techniques or a part of one of the techniques. All the techniques, whether it is pranic healing, Reiki, or all the hypnotherapy, past life regression, or age regression, any hypno, every technique. All the great masters, many people call it Now Adi Yogi, they gave him Adi. The name has been given by you and me. My name has been to my mother. So my name was not Sumant Kaul. My name was Suman Kaul. So my friends, when I was small, they said Suman is basically a flower. So, and they said Suman normally is a name of girls. So I came to our mama and said, no, make it something, made it Suman. So the name is given by a human being. The name of Bhagwan, Christ, is given by a human being. Now it is possible that this name must be revealed by an angel, like the Allah name was revealed by Archangel Gabriel to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the greatest of the masters. Okay. So the angel is revealing the name because that is the highest of the consciousness, so that we humans understand the different parts of the world, different ways of making us understand, because we are still part of Allah, whether you are in America. Now in America, they don't speak Arabic. In India, they speak normally Sanskrit earlier. Okay, so the Sanskrit name was there. So we should have a great heart and understanding that ultimately it is the same light that we are talking about, and that this the divine Allah, it is not belonging only to the Arabic world. It is belonging to me also. It is belonging to my father also. It is belonging to all the Christians, all the Hindus, all the Muslims, and so is Shiva consciousness, so is Christ consciousness. Understand this, because ultimately we are talking about the same thing. It is only the language. So now when we do we do this technique, one of the techniques which I teach, which is also the Shiva technique, I find that we are not breathing. So when we put an EEG machine, you will find that there will be no frequency or hardly. So you are taking breath from your spinal cord. Okay, now it could be that every cell of you have oxygen, and there would be a process that you are taking actually oxygen from a particular cell, and you have trillions of cells. Maybe you can live for trillions of seconds. If you have 300 trillion cells, so you can live for 300 trillion seconds. Okay. Ashna, if you are listening, just convert how much is 1 trillion second. How many years is 1 trillion second? Yeah, are you listening? Okay, so somebody can do on the laptop or something, find out how many years or what is 1 trillion second. And then we'll convert into maybe 50 trillion, 300 trillion cells. So there is a probability that you are actually energizing your body and cleansing your body in the Kriya breath, removing all the negative beliefs in that, so that your cells become clean. So that, like you say, that all the religions teach us morality, but they don't teach us the technique how to do morality. That is the problem. So I'm teaching you the technique how you can do morality. So if you change, your daughter is going to change, your son is going to change, and other people around your environment is going to change. Yes, so Abhi, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now you can ask me some question which some people would like to know.
Yes.
Which could be, yeah.
So on the topic of fasting, sir, why is it so important to do that?
Now, you see, I was in Samadhi and it was revealed to me. Maybe I told some of the people. Maybe if you cannot unmute, you can send me on this right now. So what did I teach you? That how does fasting help? Anybody remembers?
You have mentioned, sir, that it's a way of clearing karma. It's a penance as well. It's not just for the body. It's a spiritual act.
What is the scientific significance? What happens? So 31,000 years. Suppose I have 300 trillion cells. So how many years can I live yogically? Tell me. If 1 trillion cell is 31,000 years, how many years I can live on earth?
If one cell is, so can you repeat the question?
1 trillion cell, if every cell I take breath from, okay?
Okay.
Suppose I have to breathe. I go in my cell and take a breath from.
Mhm.
Okay. And I transform that karma of my ancestor, everything. Okay. And that cell goes to moksha. You understand moksha? That
Yes.
means life and death, and I mastered that. That means I mastered one cell of my body with every second. Okay? Okay? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So that means if I have 1 trillion cells, okay, so I can live for 31,000 years. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I make moksha. Understand, this is a very important topic. You'll not find on internet, on any, no teacher knows it. Huh? They are just bluffing with the Om Namah Shivaya. They are bluffing with the manuals they are having, and those manuals of no use because it has not changed them, their children, and nobody in India. Huh? They're still fighting. Now listen to this, something new which is revealed to me right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yes, can you unmute Faisal also? Faisal has
Yes, sir.
something to tell us. Om Namah Shivaya.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, Faisal, tell us. So if I have 1 trillion cells, I work on 1 trillion, I take breath. Now when I'm in Samadhi, I don't breathe from my nose. I don't breathe from my, but I'm breathing. I cannot live without breath. Correct, Faisal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Correct, Abir?
Yes, sir.
Let us not make it a hullu bullu to fool people, okay? Like some yogis in India have been bluffing and fooling with their ignorant knowledge, but they were on the right technique. Abir, you understand?
Yes.
Faisal, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Like Messi, the footballer is on the right technique and always make a goal. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Maradona can be always make a goal. Legend.
Because he knows the secret.
So he's a good footballer. He might be a good human being or not. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But he knows the technique.
The technique.
Similarly, many yogis in India knew the technique and they were good people. But they were illiterate. They could not explain. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So they made their own hullu bullu. God comes and does this. And they did not know who God is. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So when you find that I'm not breathing from my nose, suppose I'm in Samadhi, you put your hand over here and you see there is no breath coming out, right?
Yes.
And my mouth is, and which it is a known fact. Yogis do that. It's nothing hidden now anymore. But I'm breathing. So they call it Kriya breath. That means spinal breath. I'm breathing through my spine, but I'm breathing through my spine. But actually, where am I taking the breath from? Now they would say that I'm taking a breath from a different dimension. Which dimension? All the dimensions are within me and outside me are the same. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll go more deep. So I am taking breath from my cell. Every second, one cell I take, and let us assume, hypothetically, that my cell has oxygen, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cell has a process of, yeah. So I take oxygen from my cell, and let us assume I live for 1 second. Okay.
Yes.
So if I am not breathing, then I am, like I'm not breathing right now if you're saying I'm talking.
Yeah.
Now I'm breathing. Because the brain says, you're not breathing, you'll die. I'm breathing. Okay. Because I require breath, the brain went into a toss. As if there is a crisis in my body. This is the limbic brain.
Yes.
The brain is saying, oh, Suman, breathe. Okay. This is just for just showing you what happens. Okay. So, okay, Father, tell me, if I don't breathe and I use my 1 trillion cells, how many years can I live on Earth?
31,709.
Thank you. And if I have 300 trillion cells, how many years can I live on Earth?
9,512,937 years, sir.
So I want you to unmute Ashna ji also and tell her, like she is going to tell me how many years this planet Earth is there for, according to science. How many years this planet is?
So 4 billion years.
Earth is for 4 billion years. Okay, and how long the humans have come?
So humans have, the human brain started evolving 3 million years ago.
So they say that humans started around 4.5 million years, correct?
Yes, around that time.
So just imagine that if you were born 4.5 million years back, you and Faisal,
Yes.
me and Abir, okay?
Yes.
And we knew this technique right from the birth,
Yes.
then we could be still living, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that means, that is why we used to say in Indian mythology that we are immortal. Some of our masters are immortal. Shri Ram is immortal. Hanuman is immortal. He's still living. Adi
Yes.
Yogi Shiva is immortal. Yes. All the
Yes.
Hindus would agree. Okay. So it is said that we were immortal. They were immortal. So that means if they came 4.5 million years back or 60,000 years back, they're still living. Where, like it is said that Adi Yogi Shiva lives in Kailash, Mansarovar, Kailash mountain, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I'm not justifying whether it's true or false. What I'm saying is that if they knew this technique and they knew spinal breath, that means there is a great probability that they will still live for another. If they were born 60,000 years back, then there is a probability they'll live for another 9 million years, right? Scientifically.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens? These teachers make a mistake and they fool the people because mysticism is not understood by everybody. But if there is a technique, then even Pele could become the legend because he followed a football technique, correct?
Yes, sir.
So there is a technique. This is a technique. This was revealed by Adi Yogi Shiva. Now, about Shiva consciousness, Christ, Allah consciousness, the same thing. Some people say that Adi Yogi Shiva is an angel and Archangel Gabriel they are the same thing. Both reveal the same thing.
Yes.
Okay. To the messenger of God, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and to somebody in India many thousand years back. And the technique is that we teach you that when you are in Samadhi, you are in transcendental state, you are not you. That means Sumant is not Sumant. Faisal is not Faisal because he is not breathing. Then who is Faisal? Faisal becomes eternal, omnipotent. It becomes that consciousness. And there were 3 types of Kundalini: Prana Kundalini, Chit Kundalini, Para Kundalini. Para Kundalini is when a yogi, it's time to go from this planet, he atomizes without, his body doesn't need to be die, it just atomizes. This phenomena has been done by many yogis on this planet. But they follow it from a very young age. So what else? So you understand, Abhi?
Yes, sir. So you mean they leave, they take the body with them?
Common sense to it. Now what happens if I continuously do Kriya breath? My shit from my body, the shit in my cells, go to Samadhi, means transcend or get moksha. Are you understanding?
Yes.
One
Transmute.
cell at a time, every second, tuck, 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 tuck. And I found that if, let us say, the crap information in our body is removed by any amount, I will feel more divine, right?
Yes.
But you and me,
Yes,
we
sir.
still do not change because there is so much crap still, understand? So when I do Samadhi meditation regularly, so I have been able to remove more of trash from my body than many of my students, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So why I have been, because I tell them if there are earthly, this 24 hours has been made by a human being on earth. We don't have 24 hours per day on Mars. Yeah, Faisal, can you tell us what is a year of how many days and hours there is a day on Mars or other planet? Just find out and tell.
Yes,
So
sir.
while Faisal is finding out and I'm explaining you, so I tell them if we have made this man-made 24 hours and 8 hours we sleep and I am sleeping and I'm putting this Samadhi meditation and I'm giving light to my body, so I am able to remove that crap from the negative information from my body faster than my students. My students do not follow completely. So they have to just blindly follow this meditation. And then I used to practice this before I would do anything many years back. Even if I have to take an action, like I would say, Allah, God, Shiva, I surrender my will to you. Now, how do I surrender my will to? By talking. But when something used to happen, I would take the action and bear the consequences. 60 to 70% of my actions were correct. So there was happiness, balance, and difficulty. So I found that if I want to be 100% correct, so I have to find a meditation, and I found this and I went into this meditation and took my decision. So that means if I have to take a decision, I would first go into Samadhi state and then talk to my client when I was doing my engineering business or telecom business or other businesses. And I found that my results were very profound, always accurate, 100%. So Mars is saying that, Fazal, tell us how many days?
Yes, sir. It's 687 days on Mars, and for the hours, it's 24 hours and 37 minutes a day.
So every day is 24 hours, 37 minutes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means if you divide by 387, 687. So what days? Okay, so those many hours. So see, there is a difference. So similarly, this is our own solar system. Just imagine, this time is an illusion at different planets and different solar systems or Milky Ways. So coming back again, we have to understand the highest phenomena, which I was explaining, that I used to do Samadhi more, so I was able to remove my crap more than other people. But I still react like an earthly human being. So this is the truth. Let me accept that. I may like it or I may not like it. You may like it or you may not like it. So that means I'll have to keep on working so much that even while I am eating food, when I'm with my loved one, I'm still in this Samadhi state. So I keep on practicing every cell. So if half of my body learns what is Samadhi state, they are going to teach the other half to be in transcendence while still working. So that is why once again you are seeing that I am talking, but not breathing. And now my limbic brain has again got, okay. So this, we'll say why your limbic brain has got, I'm a human being, brother and sister. Okay, I'm not showing that I have become divine God, Allah. No. I'm a human being. Maybe better than many of you because I have worked on myself, but still I'm a human being. I still have a limbic brain.
Yes, sir.
Which gets activated because I have food. We will come back when we are fasting. Then what happens? I am able to master my body more. Here we come back to the original question.
Yes.
See how the left and right brain is synchronized. So what happens when I am fasting? Because I do not put anything externally which has its own karma, I am able to master my body faster and make the spirit which comes at my root chakra, sexual chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, 8th chakra, which is my karmic residue, to rotate my spirit faster because my body is lighter now and the spirit takes over my body. Yes. And tells my body, no, we are not allowing you to do this because this is a karmic disaster. Or let us do this. This might seem to be a karmic disaster, but you are going to ascend. Sumant call. This might seem to these foolish people who are on this earth.
Yes, sir.
This might seem to them. If you have to worry about them, then what is the knowledge you have? When you teach, like in Islam, they say, I've heard some of the scholars speak, that the life starts after death. So understand, my brothers and sisters, this life is for 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years. Whether you are a Muslim or not, whether you are a Hindu, understand one thing, your spirit doesn't die. Not because a Christian pastor is saying or a Hindu priest is saying, they know nothing. Your spirit does not die because energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is a scientific fact. But some of the Hindus, so-called spiritual teachers say your body dies. They are foolish, ignorant, illiterate people. Your body also doesn't die. The energy from your body, which is in your mitochondria, in the cell, adenosine triphosphate, which is the spirit of the cell, goes away, leaves the body. After a person goes to, when your soul leaves the body, then every cell is going to die within 1 or 2 hours. So that means Jesus Christ could make a man or human alive within 1 to 2 hours of the soul leaving. But if the prana energy, that is the ATP energy, leaves the cells, then it is difficult, because it is like your soul leaving, which is 8 molecules and trillions of. So it is difficult for a master who is on earth to bring a soul back. That is why in Ramayana, it was difficult for Shri Ram also to bring the soul of his, who was unconscious, of Lakshman, it is said. So he had to send Hanuman to bring that some herb, so which he could come out of his unconsciousness. So what is the message? Let's come to the scientific message, that all cells is having the soul energy. And if I have mastered my body by my spirit, then I can ascend. I can make all my trillions of cells energy go along with my soul to the ultimate spirit, the consciousness of Allah, Christ consciousness, Shiva consciousness, ultimate, and have ascension, moksha. So when I'm fasting, I do not take any external karma. I'm able to, and this technique of samadhi works better. So there is nothing, I have to only convince these cells, not some more billions of trillions of cells which I'm consuming every day. So it becomes easier for a person who is fasting and meditating, and who is fasting and meditating with this, one of the 112 techniques of Shiva. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Abir, Faisal.
What's the best way to fast? The most ideal fast for this to happen?
You see, what we have to start with, because people are listening or new, so what you can do is, trust me, you can start with water fasting. And what you can do with water fasting is that you can take water, you can take lemon water, you can take coconut water, and these things will help you have the salts, so that your body doesn't go into a healing crisis. Because when you are not taking food, the body will say, oh, you are suffering. No, you are not suffering. So that you are able to release the toxins also. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Start with this. You take lemon water, nimbu pani, coconut water, and normal water.
For how many days, sir?
Now, anybody can start. Anybody can start, even if you are diabetic. If you are diabetic, don't worry. You'll not die. Measure your parameters. I'm saying measure your parameters. That means you should have a blood sugar machine where you are going to see that your sugar level is, and you should have a blood pressure machine. That means every hour you have to measure it. Okay, every hour somebody from your family has to measure it. If you don't have it, do not do the fasting. I repeat, do not do the fasting. You have to measure it every hour, so that your blood sugar is maintained and your blood pressure is maintained. If you do that, there is no harm. Okay, so the normal blood sugar is, yes, Abir, what is the normal blood sugar?
Normal blood sugar is between 90 and 110.
Okay, so we can go between 80 to 112, 20. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Depending on the age.
blood sugar level is between 70 and 99, the fasting blood sugar level.
No, I'm not going for the fasting blood sugar. I'm just saying that you have to maintain it between, how much? 80 to 120, it should be there. Okay. So suppose you are fasting.
Yes,
so it will be lesser than that, but it should be between. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So yes, remember, Ashnaji, when we are on online, a lot of people are listening. We have to be medically correct, not yogically correct. Are you understanding? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Because when we are doing the fasting sugar, PP and all that, we will take food after that.
Yes,
when a
sir.
blood pathology team we have tell us. So we don't have to teach them yogically. Now we have to teach them medically. So your sugar should be maintained between 80 to 120. That is should be there. And ideal is 90 to 100, even if you are fasting. Okay. So you have to understand, in case it comes low, you should take some sugar cubes and you can go for food. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah. Because I don't want you to do at the cost of your health and body.
Yes.
We have to be medically correct and legally correct. You should immediately have food. Immediately have sugar, directly sugar, if it is going less, sugar cubes or sugar, 1 spoon of sugar, it will shoot then immediately. And you can stop fasting and take food normal. Okay? And let's come to the blood pressure. Yes. So what should be the blood pressure? Lower and higher blood pressure, systolic and blood. Yeah, tell me.
I'm not knowledgeable about the blood pressure.
Yeah. Ashna would be there. She knows. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The blood pressure should be normal in today's time is 130/90 or 120/80.
Okay, so 120/80 is the normal.
So systolic is 120 and diastolic is 80 or 90.
That is correct. So that means your blood sugar should be maintained between this. The maximum it can go is 130/40. After that, it becomes alarming. You have to understand this. We have to maintain medically. We have to maintain. Although there are people who say that pharmaceutical companies have brought this because if it goes beyond this, you will take medicine. But we are not authorized. I repeat, we are not authorized to tell this. So you should ideally maintain between 80/120, lower and higher blood pressure. If it goes beyond that, you should stop fasting and you should take a medical intervention. Are you with me, all of you? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Just
Yeah,
to
this is a legal-
clarify, sir, you are talking about a normal, healthy people with no physical issues.
Yeah. But you see, when we take fasting, we have seen that even people who have blood pressure, it reduces. Are you understanding? When you do the samadhi meditation or when you do the pranayama, you understanding the point?
Yes.
You should never leave your medicines. Number one, you should always take your medicine, but you see that when when there is a change in you, you meet your medical doctor, he will himself advise after checking it that because he will be seeing your HbA1c, everything, your blood sugar and your blood pressure averages he will be finding from the medical tests, right? And he will advise you that he may tell you to lessen your medicines. Are you with me? And
Yes,
then
yes,
there is
sir.
a possibility that there will be no medicines to be taken. So here we are not talking about blood pressure and blood sugar. We are talking about fasting, and that you have to maintain a proper blood sugar and blood pressure, right?
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that, yeah. And in case there is some error, you should immediately take medical intervention. Okay. And you should always do fasting with your doctor's advice also. This is a legal requirement that I tell everybody that anybody who's got blood pressure and blood sugar, they should take advice from your medical doctors. This is the legal requirement. When I'm talking to you, I have to inform everybody. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let's come back. You asked me about the fasting and you asked me how we have to do it. So I told you that we can do on the water fast. And we are having, Ramadan happening. Now, you see, this iftar was also brought because, you see, humans have to celebrate. Now, that is why Islam is one of the greatest religions of this world. People may not understand or choose to understand it completely when they brought, because you see, if Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would have told that you keep fast for 1 week, 30 days without eating food, you could have, but many people would not have agreed. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
that means keep the fast and then celebrate, with community, friends and all. So the iftar is at 7 p.m. normally, right?
Dubai time, yes.
Dubai
yes.
time.
Around,
Yeah.
yes.
But you see, then you have to have moderately the food, and then again it is at 4 a.m. in the morning. What time?
Around 4 ceasing of stop eating.
No, in the morning also, no, there is some.
Yes, before sunrise.
Okay, so that means people would normally eat too much. You should not eat too much. It was to maintain the biochemistry of the body also, and to bring this sustenance, that the cells work on themselves, and that when you are meditating, many of the people would go into delta state also, or maybe in samadhi also. Many of the Muslims who are practicing, and a lot of things are revealed during that time, and then they are able to master the body better. So it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So anything else need to be informed?
When you mentioned the water fast, so to be on the safe side, how do they start? How many days for the first time?
So I will ask Ashna ji to talk on this subject, because she has done water fast for a long time, and they are also, I've heard, on the water fast. So tell me.
Yes, sir. So the beginner's first step is to, there are two options. The first option is you fast on alternate days. That means you do water fasting on alternative days. For example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or you can start with initially training your body if you have not fasted before. So I fasted for 7 days only on water. So before that, 21 days I only ate no wheat. I did not eat wheat. I did not eat rice. So only boiled vegetables, one bowl for 21 days in all my meals. So that's how I trained my body to fast continuously for 7 days without food. So I just had water. Or you can start with
So
doing alternative days of fasting.
what I can advise here, Ashna ji, is that since you are practicing for a long time, so we will not tell them to go for vegetables or anything, but we can tell them is that they can start with the 3-day fasting. Okay, on lemon water, coconut water, and normal water. So how
It
do
is
they start?
alternative or together?
No, together start first 3 days, because it will be like a blessing to them. They will be able to do it.
Sure, sir.
So how do they start? What time they wake up in the morning?
So there are different actually levels of doing fast. So in my family, when my father has done fasting for 8 months.
Now your father is now your father is going to start tomorrow morning again, correct?
Yes, sir. He's starting
Okay.
again.
Yeah. So how is going to do it?
So he, when he did the water fast, so we start early in the morning and we take a bath and we resume our normal work.
And then what is going to happen?
And then, as sir has suggested, you can take coconut water, you can take lemon water. If your diastolic pressure remains always below 80, then you should take some salts as well, rock salt, or you can take nibu pani, which is again with some sugar and rock salt to maintain your blood pressure if in case it goes below 80.
And then you can take as much. There is no compulsion of not taking water. You can take as much as water you can take, because at least then you don't require, after some time, 1 month, 2 months, you will not require any advice. You will be able to do it yourself. Whether you want to take water, how much water, or not even water someday, you will be able to master yourself. So start you can do with this.
So there's a question from Nikhil Grover Tweet, and he's asking, do we have to fast every month or it's for lockdown?
So I think you explained to Nikhil ji that it is his life. Okay, what is the concept of fasting? The fasting is that you become mindful, your family becomes mindful, you have abundance, you have good health, everything. So you, Nikhil ji, you have asked me, you can start 3 days every week. If you ask me, I would advise everyone to do at least 3 days every week, if you ask me. And it is your choice how much you want to do.
So there's a video online of a Bollywood celebrity, and he was talking that in this lockdown, he has become very, very mindful, and he's writing his thoughts so that he does not go back to his frivolous, irresponsible life when the lockdown is over. So, what I want to actually convey to the participants that do not keep manifesting these lockdowns to actually come on the right path. So, if you maintain this practice, this habit of meditation, even after lockdown, even after the coronavirus ends, then we will end this series of epidemics which keep on coming
Yeah.
to make us learn something which we have actually forgotten.
So this is not fair to have lockdowns for being mindful.
So yes, we should maintain our practice of meditation and fasting regularly, and also keep working on our karmas. This should be like we brush our teeth every day, we take a bath, we have our normal routine. So this should be part of our normal routine, which we should follow. So we can start with the meditation now.
We have a question from a participant. He is asking, how does he know that he has cleared completely his ancestral defects?
There is no, you'll not be able to, if you want to know that, no, I have not been able to, nobody is able to, on this earth, able to clear all the ancestral defects. That's the truth. You'll be able to do that majorly, which will be able for your spirit to arise, and then your spirit has to do some new kriyamana karma. So do not worry. You'll not come to know that you have cleared all your, I have not come to know. Nobody on the earth is able to clear 100%. But we are able to clear so much that our spirit can be the driver of our body. Okay. So
Yes.
that means I can tell you now, what I can explain you is that how much you should do. Okay. You should listen to the Samadhi meditation 8 hours at least when you are sleeping. Okay. Put it on the auto rewind. You can put it on the laptop, your wife and all children can listen, or you can put it on the earphone, big one. Don't take the small one, earphones, because they are going to hurt your ears and then you'll not be interested. Take the big earphones and listen to it, and then you should practice minimum 3 hours in the day, anytime. So that means you have to clock 11 hours. I repeat, you have to clock minimum 8 hours. You have the liberty while you're sleeping because you're very busy, all of you. 3 hours you have to do when you are in a wakeful state. Now, 3 hours that you are doing, you can do by the sitting meditation, by keeping your spinal cord, but you can be awake and lie down also on the bed or on the yoga mat, because I do not want you to have any excuses. Oh, your back is hurting because you're sitting. Okay, so you can lie down also in wakeful state. If you go to sleep while you are in the morning or afternoon, don't worry. Okay, I used to do this meditations, and what my wife would tell me that you're sleeping, Sumant, and I found that I agreed with her. And after many months of regular practice, I found that Sumant Kaul was never sleeping. I could see Sumant Kaul sleeping. That means, but my consciousness was always awake.
Yes.
So I could see my out of body experience. So you understand? So what is the message? The message is that you are not actually sleeping. So that is what you have to do. And your cells, there's trillions of cells. You see, we found that if we take oxygen from every second, from every cell, I can live for 9 million years. Just imagine, on earth, it is impossible to master your body completely. But once your spirit is awake, it can drive your body. Are you with me? It can drive your body with the power the spirit has. Right now, your spirit, your soul is sleeping. Okay, mine has kind of woken up. Okay, when a body wants to take over, my soul would go, no. Okay, because like I was telling you about Islam, that they say the life is after death. But you see, but still Muslim do mistakes. Because if life is after death, that means you are going to live to millions of years, as per Quran, that the judgment is going to be done one day for all. That means already you had this life for 80 years, 90 years, and you did so many wrong things that all the millions of years that you are are going to wait for judgment day is going to be in trap and going to be in misery. So that is why in Islam you have this one life, do good deed, but they're not able to do it. So this is a trap. And Hinduism, they say there is reincarnation. So that means if I am a Hindu, I can do a bad deed in this lifetime and come back and have a very difficult life in the next life, reincarnate and have a choice to change my life. How can I change my life? My brothers and sisters, friends and family. How can I change my life in the next life? If I have not done good deeds in this lifetime, that means according to karmic theory of Hinduism, I'm going to have a difficult life in the next life. Then if I'm not able to change in this life, how can I change in the next life? So what is the use of my reincarnation?
Yes.
Right? So ultimately, for a Muslim believer, he is waiting for the judgment day on his graveyard or being a ghost going here and there. For a Hindu, this is already a hell, the life of difficulty they are facing on earth. Everybody in the lockdown, their wife cheating, they cheating, having, pain, children's, not so much difficulty on this world. So this is the life. So what we have to do is we have to be mindful in this lifetime. So that we do not have to wait for the judgment day. We ascend like Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and all the great Indian master, Krishna, Buddha. We don't have to wait for the judgment. And for Hindu, we don't have to reincarnate. It's a simple story. Do good deeds in this lifetime. Yes, Abhi? You agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Faisal. Yeah. So that is what it is finding about. So once our spirit awakens, we are able to take decisions. They may not be as per earthly norms, but they will not hurt anybody. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You will be revealed like what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did was not as per earthly norms. No? That is why everybody was against him in Saudi Arabia. Now everybody is his followers in the world,
Yes, at
whether
start.
they are born Muslim or not. So they were against. Even Jesus Christ, they were against.
Yes.
It was according to earthly norms, it was different. But ultimately now everybody believes in Jesus Christ, whether he's a Christian or not. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So we have to understand this. So we have to master about times have changed. There are good times come. This is the best time in the world for us all to have this wonderful knowledge. Yeah. Now somebody said, will fasting undo my wrongs? Somebody wrote this.
Yes, just now.
So has he given his name?
Faina. I believe I'm
Faina.
pronouncing right. Faina.
Okay, now Faina could belong to either she could be a Christian or she could be a Muslim, correct? Can Faina write whether she is a Christian or a Muslim? Can she write?
Okay.
She says she is a Hindu.
Hindu.
Okay, now
Hindu.
Okay, now I'll explain. Abir, you are a Muslim by birth, correct?
Yes.
And Faisal, you are a Christian by birth, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, and Faina is a Hindu by birth. Now, in Christianity, Faisal, you agree there is something called confession.
Yes, sir.
So the confession means that you will go to a church and there is a confession box and you will confess to the priest over there.
Priest. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I believe that when you, in the name of God, whether you know God or not, whether the priest knows God or not, so when you confess, you are forgiven. I agree. Okay. So, and you must have seen that many people go very light-hearted from the confession box. How do I know? Because I saw Michael Corleone in the Godfather movie going and confessing to the priest, crying there that he had done so and so mistakes, everything. And he came out very light-hearted. Okay, so that is why I know. I've seen that practically in the movie. Okay? Yes, Faisal.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what happens is that I believe that when you ask forgiveness, you are forgiven. But the problem is that Michael Corleone in the movie Godfather kept on doing the mistakes again and again. He kept on coming to the priest again and again. Okay? And
Yes.
every time Michael Corleone was forgiven. But the problem is that Michael Corleone did not, his cells in the body did not know how to live a mindful life. Correct? The priest
Yes, sir.
who could be a device of us getting him forgiveness could not train him to be a good human being. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what happened? Some people were asking what is karma vargana. So Michael Corleone, God bless him, in the movie it was Al Pacino. Yeah, Al Pacino.
Yes, sir. Al Pacino. Al Pacino,
Fine
sir.
actor, God bless. Yeah, yeah. So whenever he used to go into the confession box, he brought that evil karma varganas of murder, of smuggling, of sex and everything, and gave it to that priest.
Yes, sir.
Now, the priest did a very benevolent job of getting him forgiveness, but he found that every time this Michael comes and is forgiven for his mistakes and keeps on doing sins, keeps on having fun, and where is the priest? And he is suffering. And that is why you must have seen that many priests in Vatican were asked to go and leave because they were doing a lot of wrong things. It came in the newspaper, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Whenever a person becomes he's a human being. He wants to master his body in the name of God. But he sees in the confession box all these dirty people coming and being forgiven. And he is actually given, those people give karma vargana, that is subatomic particles, to this priest. So this priest used to feel that if they can be forgiven of all the mistakes, so can the priest be forgiven in the name of God. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is why neither the priest changed, neither priests were able to change those evil people. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So I believe that we are forgiven, but you have to have a technique where you can work on the cells. So somebody asked me that can the fasting help? Now what the fasting can do is when you are fasting and you are meditating, it is very powerfully that you can go very fast into samadhi state. So when you are going to samadhi state, that means you are going to work on your trillions of cells. In 1 or 2 years, your soul is going to awaken and is going to take control of the body. And you will not do the wrongs which you are doing. Suppose you are doing 1,000 wrongs in 365 days. Every day, 3 times you are doing wrong. You will find that after 1 year, you are doing only 100 wrong. And after 2 years, only 50. After 3 years, only 20. After 4 years, only 10. After 5 years, you are doing not anything wrong. So it's a gradual progression because you are working on your physical body. Okay, so this is how fasting would help, because you will not let because everything that you eat, the rice that I eat, the farmers are not paid well. So they're sad. There's sadness in that rice. The rice takes that sadness. So that is why we should bless the food. So whenever you eat meat, knows for many days that they're going to be butchered. They have that fear. So you eat that animal's fear. Understand this.
Yes, sir.
So when you're fasting, you're actually cleansing your body of all the, scientifically also of the toxins. And since we do the technique, you're activating your soul also so that it takes control of your body. And this is a scientific fact, which is many of the Harvard Medical Schools of meditations are there doing. Now, this is the highest meditation, Samadhi meditation. These Harvard people still are not knowing it completely because it was kept a secret. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm starting the meditation. Close your eyes, take a long deep breath.
Yes.
You need to close your eyes. All of you need to close your eyes, because when you close your eyes, there is a pineal gland which tells you that there is darkness and you will go into deep sleep and trance. So close your eyes, take a long deep breath. And I want you to imagine that energy is coming through the Mother Earth, through your feet, coming to your root chakra. Imagine your root chakra as a small lotus bird, and the lightning strikes, it becomes a big lotus flower. And there is your soul molecule, which is swirling, 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 like a Sudarshan chakra. You are feeling confident, comfortable, peaceful, and strong. Feeling really good about yourself. All your issues of abundance, lack are getting resolved. As you move up this energy to your sexual chakra, imagine your sexual chakra, small lotus bird, as the lightning strikes. Just imagine lightning striking and becomes a big, huge lotus flower. And you see there is another eternal soul molecule, which you bring from lifetime to lifetime. It is swirling like a Sudarshan chakra. And this light, white light, is going to your sexual organs, cleaning them. All the crap, mistakes that you have done, you find them being cleaned. Because light has that power. It is self-intellect. And it's also going to a small intestine, which is about 24 feet long, large intestine, which is 4 to 6 feet long. Cleaning all the sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, all the mistakes you have done. Acknowledge them and move on with this light. Very good. When you see your sexual organs light, I want you to imagine that you're going up to your solar plexus chakra. Imagine a solar plexus chakra as a small lotus bud. And lightning strikes and becomes a big, huge lotus flower. Energy coming from the root chakra to the sexual chakra, solar plexus chakra. Another eternal soul molecule spinning, spinning, spinning. And all your fear is being removed. You are feeling comfortable, confident, peaceful, and strong. Feeling really good about yourself. Imagining that moving up to your heart chakra, imagining heart chakra as a small lotus bud, as a lightning strike, this becomes a big, huge lotus flower. And you are feeling confident, comfortable, peaceful, and strong. And there is another eternal soul molecule which you bring from lifetime to lifetime. Energy from the root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, going to your heart chakra, and you find this light going to your lungs, left and right lung, removing all the betrayal, rejection, regret, resentment, anger from your liver and kidneys, healing going to your spleen, your pancreas, your gallbladder. Going up to your throat chakra, imagining your throat chakra as a small lotus bud. And when the lightning strikes, it becomes a big, huge lotus flower. And you find that there is another eternal soul molecule which rotates and rotating again and again, again and again. Very powerful. And you are able to heal the way you modulate your speech. From now onwards, you are going to make your speech divine. Going up, relaxing your jaws, relaxing your ears, your nose, your tongue, your lips. They can pure with divine light. Going to your third eye chakra, imagining your third eye chakra as a small lotus bud. Where the lightning strikes, it becomes a big, huge lotus flower. And you are able to heal your past, present, and future. The fear of future is evaporated because you can go back to your past, change your present, and change your future. There is no past, present, and future. Time is an illusion. Time in New Delhi is different than time in Dubai and America. There is night in India and there is day coming in. There's already day in America. And from the space, you can see both day and night. The time is an illusion. It's the human concept. Going deeper and deeper. Bring this energy up to the crown chakra. Imagining your crown chakra as a small lotus flower. The lightning strike becomes a big, huge lotus flower. And there's another eternal soul molecule started swirling, swirling, swirling. You see energy coming from the mother earth to the root chakra, sexual chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, and moving up to the 8th chakra where a karmic residue is there, which is 2 inches, 2 feet, and moving up into the cosmos. All the planets, stars, galaxies, nebulae, Milky Way going to the different dimension. Yes, see the energy away from the gravity. And suddenly you see from the cosmos, that energy coming up, down to the 8th chakra. That means with the divinity shaking your karmic residue, coming to the crown chakra, down to the third eye chakra. Throat chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, sexual chakra, root chakra, feet chakra, and goes to the mother earth in the volcanic energy, emeralds, rubies, diamonds. Brings the energy up through the feet chakra, going through root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. 8th chakra, going up to the cosmos. Up. Then coming down again, doom, up, down, left, right, front, back. You burn in this nuclear fusion of energy. Nobody can sustain the pressure. All the karma, there is nothing called karma in this energy. This is the Allah, the Shiva consciousness, Christ consciousness. There is no time and space. Some of you are not breathing, even who are new. Don't be conscious. It's okay, fine. Be in this energy. Say, I'm always with Allah, I'm always with Christ consciousness, I'm always with Shiva consciousness. Never separate, always with God. And see your body which is already atomized, like sugar dissolves in milk. You cannot see the sugar in milk. Similarly, your body is dissolved in this light. You cannot see the light. The body is only the light. Now I want you to imagine the energy coming from the root chakra. Just do the divine body, no physical body, divine body. Just imagine, create, imagination ignites creation. And going straight to the 8th chakra, which is 2 inches to 8 feet above, just put your head left and right. You'll feel some energy on top of your head. That is your 8th chakra, where all your karmic residues are there. That is called the Akashic God also. And from the 8th chakra, come to the fonatella bone, straight to the root chakra. From the root chakra to the 8th chakra, from the 8th chakra to the root chakra. From the root chakra to the 8th chakra, from the 8th chakra to the root chakra. Do it with a thought 9 times. Wonderful. Now, when you go from the root chakra to the 8th chakra, from the 8th chakra, you will not go to the root chakra directly. You will go somewhere in the spinal cord, which is a space above the root chakra. That is the new starting point. From there, you will go to the 8th chakra. Now, when you come back from the 8th chakra, you will not go to the new place. You will go to a place which is little above the previous place, but in the spinal cord. From there, you are going to go to the 8th chakra. From the 8th chakra, when you're going to come to the spinal cord, you'll go to a new place, which is just imagination above the previous place. And you'll keep on doing this again and again till you reach the 8th chakra. Start swirling around the 8th chakra. Go inside the 8th chakra. You'll see that your karmic residues are light and they're shaking. Shaking means they're about to change. Your will, which has been surrendered to Allah, to Christ consciousness, Shiva consciousness, is going to change because you are the divine at this moment. You can do anything that you want. After listening to a meditation, you can be for hours together and change everything. Now, I want you to come from the 8th chakra, crossing the fonatella bone to your cerebellum. That is the back side of your brain. And you see your brain lightening up. Just imagine. Very good. Imagination ignites creation. And from the cerebellum, it goes back to the 8th chakra. From the 8th chakra, cerebellum, from the cerebellum to the 8th chakra. Do it 9 times. Yes, very good. Keep on doing it. Hot. Now, when you come back to your cerebellum, at the base of your brain, back of the brain, you see a little tension. Just feel a little heaviness and make a laser-like beam. And this laser-like beam is going to penetrate your pineal gland, which is the supreme master gland, which controls all the hormones of your body, which controls the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal gland axis. Is a master gland. And see that it penetrates the pineal gland and be in this space. This is called the divine union in the yogi concept. Say in your mind, I'm always with God, never separate, always God. And see yourself getting atomized like sugar dissolves in milk. And I want you to be in this space and time for some time till I come back. Be in this time and space for some time. There is peace. If you do not listen to my voice, do not worry. I'm there. Be in this space and time. This is the height of meditation. Yogis practice for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 100 years, and be in this mastering body, because you can live for more than 9 million years with this body if you choose to. Going deep, very deep. Now, we will start with the mantras. These have no religious connotations. These are all, can you put on the video? I mean, they're all sound, vibration, mantra. We're all frequencies. And we go to the divine frequency where we're able to change our karmas. Many religions, they say, oh, the mantras are religious. They forget that Archangel Gabriel was the angel who had no religion, who revealed Holy Quran to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was an angel. Understand this. So these mantras are only mindful and a frequency. They will raise your frequency and vibration to the divine frequency and vibration. Okay, so Om Namo Namah Shivaya Om. So when I'm saying Om Namo Namah Shivaya Om, so I'm saying I surrender my will. This is the actual meaning. Don't go by my surrender my will to the Shiva consciousness. Shiva consciousness, Allah consciousness, Christ consciousness are one the same thing. When I say Christ consciousness, I don't mean that I'm surrendering my will to Jesus Christ. I mean I'm surrendering my will to the Christ consciousness. And Jesus Christ is the angel who has taught me about Christ consciousness. Understand? I honor him completely. Completely. Understand this. Because of my limited knowledge, some of the people have limited knowledge. If he lived in that part of the world, doesn't mean that I cannot follow him, his divinity, because he took me to the Christ consciousness. Similarly, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not make any religion. He took us all to the Allah consciousness. Understand this. We human beings are given religions. Allah is not owned by Muslims, my brothers and sisters. Allah is with everybody. Omnipotent, omniscience, omnipresent, eternal and perfect. In every cell of every human being on this earth, every mountain, every river, every animal, every bacteria, every organism, Allah is there. So is Christ consciousness, so is Shiva consciousness. Om tare tu re mama yo pone jana pote karo swaha. Om namo namah Shivaya Om. 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 Om ha hum vajra guru pema siddhi hum. 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 Om namo namah Shivaya Om. Om namo namah Shivaya Om. Om namo namah Shivaya Om. Abir, can you put my video on? And now?
Yes, sir.
Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhem Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmil Bandhana Mityor Mokshe Mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhem Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmil Bandhana Mityor Mokshe Mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Sugandhem Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmiv bandhanat Mrityor mokshe mamritat Dehi sobhagyam arogyam Dehi me paramam sukham Rupam dehi zayam dehi Yasho dehi disho zahi Om tare tu tare Ture mamayu pune jana pote karu swaha. Okay, let's do some laughter yoga. Make your cheeks up like this and start laughing. Ha 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 ha. Come on, Abir. Fazal. Ho, 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 Every day laughter, it is going to transform your bad karma into laughter karma. Always joyous, always be in ecstasy, always be in bliss. Have a wonderful day, or a wonderful afternoon. Have a wonderful evening and night. All of you, my friend, bless you all. Have a wonderful life. La da 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 da. Ha 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Bless
Thank you.
you. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned. Be tuned
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Abir.
Have a great evening, day, morning. Be blessed.
Thank you.